life happens, it affects us all. And I want to know what you think. So let's talk about it. Thank you. And thank you for joining me today. I want to invite you to join in the discussion by clicking on the subscribe button and leaving your comment. You can also like and friend me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I wanted to speak about this story that's all over the news and in the media. It's really a very sad story, of course, about these 6 children that were adopted. They were in foster care. They were adopted out of foster care, I would assume. But they were adopted by these 2 Caucasian women. And these children, there, as you can see, there's a picture of them. And I saw this story and I just had to speak upon it because I have a really huge heart for children because they are the most helpless people, and they look to adults, they look to us as human beings to take care of them in their infancy while they're children. And I was looking at this picture of these children, and in particular this little boy, and it just pained my heart to see him because all I could think was poor baby. When you look into his eyes, you can see his pain. And I wanted to speak on that because I feel like as black people, we have to start taking responsibility for the lives that we bring onto this earth. It is so sad to see the number of black children that are in the legal system. And it's very easy for our black children to be taken away from their black families and put into child protective service, which really doesn't protect them. We have to stop being reckless when we decide to have children. And I believe it's a huge responsibility and that we must be prepared mentally, physically, and not necessarily financially, but it really helps. That's very important nonetheless. I know that we as black people are capable of rearing good, decent children, but we have to ask why there's so many in the system and why aren't we doing more to try to help. And it's not that there are people that don't, because there are a multitude of people I know that are trying to assist those children that are in child protective services, but there are barriers that are there that prevent us from trying to help. Some of us from trying to help those that are in need. And most of it are silly reasons, of course, or technicalities, and it may be circumstances that are beyond your control. But there are some people that are able, and I would ask any of you who have the room, the space, and the heart to assist in our communities with placement of these children that are in foster care. If your heart is not in it, it's probably not a good idea because children require a lot of attention. And you're going to run back and forth to events. And if you're not that type of person, you're not in the mood a lot to deal with children, then I don't invite you to go and adopt those. But those who are able and can be of assistance to those black children that are in the system, please take it upon yourself to assist and adopt these beautiful black children, because the way they're being treated today, and I noticed that a lot of them are being put into homes with homosexual parents or individuals. I've noticed that they're placing our children with a lot of those people. And I'm a traditionalist, of course, and I believe children do need love, but I think it's also important to have a mother and a father, and they need an example. I do believe, and this is my opinion, that they should be reared by people who look like them. And I know that as black people, we're capable of rearing non-black children because we don't tend to have a problem with mistreating human beings based on their skin color. You only need to look at our history to prove this. Even during slavery, white people would take and sell or kill our own children, and we would still be made to care for their children. We would take care of those little white babies, and they don't fear us. Even today, they kill and they mistreat us, but have no problem hiring us to care for their children without hesitation. They don't fear us hurting their children because they know our primary nature. Naturally, we are nurturers and comforters. Of course, many of us have been made other than our own selves due to drugs and lack of parenting skills or training. And now, speaking of training, it is always a good idea to get training. I know the Nation of Islam offer the MGT and the FOI, and a lot of people give them slack, but that training is needed. We have been uncivilized, so it's a good thing to have someone, a group that understands the struggle that we have endured, what we've had to face, that has made us other than what we should be as parents, husbands, and wives, even a training for our children. There's none better. We must change our thinking and understand the importance of proper parenting and rearing of our babies. We must value these precious little blessings that we have. And I have to give my props to Tariq because he also, Tariq Nasheed, he took it upon himself to offer those children that are those black kids that have been placed with people that are non-black. He gave his email address so that they can contact him if they are in need, if they need help, because even he could see he has compassion for these children, and I do too. And I just want to encourage all of us who love these black children and want the best for them to reach out, find out how you can be of help today. In this world that we live in, there are so many children that are in need. My discussion today, I want to know, do you think it is a good idea for non-blacks to raise our little black children? Is it a good idea to place them with people who are homosexual? I want to know what you think. I want you to join the discussion, and I want you to comment. And in order to comment, I would like for you to subscribe, then leave me your comment. Let me know what you think. And as always, you can join me on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. Thank you for listening, and join me again for Discussions with Dina.